to Minded Movement and getting smart about how you move. I'm Hazel. Thanks for joining me so much for Coffee and Move 15, I think. Today we're going to have a shoulder party, and we're going to start our shoulder party whilst drinking our coffee, and just making sure that when you drink your coffee you don't do this. That you are bringing your cup to your mouth by using your trapezius up here. You just want to keep this down and use your glenohumeral joint, your elbow joint, your wrist joint. As my teacher Katie Bowman would say, you do not want traps with that. You don't want traps with drinking your tea, you don't want traps with talking on the phone, you don't want traps with eating, you don't want traps with typing on the keyboard. And in saying that, if you're somebody who uses your traps a lot, you can do all kinds of shoulder exercises and still be doing this all the time and actually not get that much benefit. You've got to stop doing the thing that's causing you the problem. And if it's the fact that you are using your traps all the time, you've got to stop using your traps. That's why I called my business Mind in Movement. You've got to get aware of what you're doing with your body. So on that note, today you're going to need a tea towel. This one's a very nice tea towel. It's very faded, but it's got a chicken on it. And you're going to need a book for 2 exercises. Maybe, yeah. So the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to come up close to the camera. You're not going to be able to see my head. Watch my hand and watch my elbow. So can you do this? Can you see that I am what we call pronating and supinating my forearm here, but there's no movement happening here in the humerus? Okay, now can you do this? So see, now I'm internally and externally rotating my humerus, this upper arm bone, but there's not much movement here. And hopefully you can do these movements, I know you can't see my face, that's okay, without doing this, right? So lots of us have got all of these movements coupled together. So when we move here, we move here, we move at our shoulder joint. So these are just some things to practice. Can you supinate and pronate without moving your humerus? Then, can you internally rotate and externally rotate? And then, are you doing that all without moving your shoulders? So you don't want to be doing without moving your scapula, I should say. So slopping your scapula around on your back. Many of us just slop our scapulas around on our back because we've got really poor rotator cuff strength and conditioning and whatnot, and we just don't practice these movements. So hallelujah, here's an opportunity to practice with your favourite book. So that's just pronation and supination and internal and external rotation, and not slopping your scapula around on your back. If they're big words, cool, you learned something new today. So Google it to find out more. What I want you to do now is grab your tea towel, and you're going to hold 2 corners of it. And this movement here is what we're going to be doing. Now you can see that from the side, I'm not moving my rib cage or anything like this. See how now I'm moving other parts of me because maybe I don't have enough motion at the shoulder, so I have to move other parts of me. So to start with, see if you can do this without moving other parts of yourself. So can you go around this way, and can you go around this way without having to thrust your rib cage? Okay, thrust your rib cage to get your hands behind your head or whatever. Can you do this movement? Can you do this movement with straighter arms? What can you do? Can you get your cape out and fight a book? So this is the movement we're doing. This is called the blanket party, but today it's a tea towel party because we're doing it with a tea towel. So again, you just want to practice this movement and see how much of you're needing to move because you don't have enough movement at the shoulder joint. And also when you're doing that, when you're doing this, hopefully not, hopefully your scapulas will back down behind you while you were doing that. Cool. The next movement we're going to do is called the pizza party, but we're going to use a book. So it's actually the exact same movement that you're doing, it's full shoulder mobility. But you're going to put your hand underneath your pizza, aka your book. And what we are looking for is, can you get the pizza right around, so I'm cheating a little bit there, so I was using my thumb, and see how I have to move some of my upper body because my shoulder mobility isn't perfect. You're never going to have perfect shoulder mobility. Well, you might. Who knows? But, so can you go both ways? Can you go that way, bring it up over your head and come back around, and can you go the other way? And you'll see how here, I can't keep my hand flat all the time. I have to kind of bend my hand or make my hand into a little bit of a cup because I don't have enough flexibility in my hand to do this. So once you've played around on one side for a while, come and try it on the other side. So I know I have less shoulder mobility in my left shoulder, and you can see because I'm having to move my body. So as I practice this more and more and more, and as I increase the mobility of this shoulder, mobility and stability, then I'm going to be able to do it without having to see how I'm having to move my body away. So ideally, you want to be able to get the movement at the shoulder joint rather than, and again here, are you slopping your scapula around? Are you getting a lot of scapular movement? It's okay to start with if you are. It's just interesting to have a look and see how you're moving, because then you know what you need to change about how you're moving. So I need some more shoulder mobility on this shoulder. I need some more hand flexibility here, some hand motion and whatnot, and probably a little bit more stability in this elbow, I feel like, as well. Okay, cool. So that's the tea towel party, the book party, aka the blanket party, and the pizza party. Now we're going to go and do a movement that we've done before called the windmill. You're going to get something and put it under your head while you're lying on your side. Now this could be anything, really. A towel, a cushion, something. I've got a half roller because she's great height for me. So I'm going to lie on my side. I'm going to put this under my head. I'm going to make sure I'm not doing this. I'm going to have my shoulders down. The sun's going to come out to the side. You'll see my top knee is on the ground. And then I'm going to reach my top arm up. So I'm going to keep a bend in my shoulder and my elbow, because I don't want, I'm going to have to shift forward a bit, because I don't want to be reaching out through my hand. I want to be reaching out through my elbow. So I'm going to keep a bend in my elbow so I can reach up through my elbow. Actually, if you try reaching up through your hand and then reaching up through your elbow, you'll feel different loads, and we want this load. So we're going to reach up through the elbow, then we're going to externally rotate. So I hope you can see there, like if I had a can of beer in my hand, I'd be pouring it out behind me. So I'm taking this humerus bone and turning it backwards, and I'm leading that with my hand. Now my thumb is pointing down towards the ground. So from here, without coming into a big thrust, I'm just going to let this arm come back, but I'm not hanging off my ligaments here. I'm reaching through my shoulder. I'm using my muscles to stabilize my joint in my end range, which is kind of the difference between mobility and flexibility. And I mean, you've got to remember that they're just made up words too. The body doesn't think, hey, I'm doing a mobility exercise, or hey, I'm doing a flexibility exercise. The body only thinks in terms of movement. And there are better movements and worse movements, and we want to be stabilizing our joints by using the strength of our muscles rather than just hanging off our ligaments, which a lot of people do, especially in the elbow. If you can hyperextend your elbow, don't hyperextend your elbow. When you're working, say in 4-point kneeling, you want to be having a slight bend in your elbow, and you'll find that really difficult because you have to use your muscles. Yeah, anyway, this is called the windmill. It's a great exercise for reaching out through the scapula, basically through the humerus, stabilizing the shoulder instead of just flopping it out there and letting it hang off the ligaments. Yeah, don't do that. And one day you'll be able to touch the ground. Okay, so that's one side. Let's go and do it on the other side. And while we're gearing up for that, let's take a sip of my coffee. Jim's just ordered some more coffee from Addington. It's called Jailbreaker Coffee. It's really good. And I believe in New Zealand all coffee has come back online, which I'm not actually a big coffee drinker, but I like drinking the occasional coffee. I've never drank so much coffee in my life over the last 15 days, so guys and girls, I have no idea what I'm drinking right now. But I think I might make a wee bit of an effort to drink some cool coffees. Okay, so we're doing the windmill on the opposite side. Again, don't have your shoulders up around your ears. We're reaching up through the elbow towards the ceiling, then we're coming back. I'm going to hit the wall and then come a bit further forward. I'm breathing, remember that the breath is your number one alignment point. And let's get out of the way. I love this one. I do this one a lot. And I don't know if you can see, but my hand is off the ground by quite a bit at the moment. But if I hang out here for a couple of minutes, it gets on the ground. We should have done the wall test before this. We'll do that at some other point. So I'm externally rotating, reaching out through the elbow, and just enjoying that feeling of stabilizing my scapula while using my muscles, but also getting some stretching kind of feelings through maybe my pec muscle, my bicep. It's great. It's good times. Okay, so let's continue the shoulder party by coming and doing an exercise called snow angels. So you all know what snow angels are. It's when you lie on the ground and go like this with your arms and legs, right? So let's do the same thing. I'm going to bolster up under my shoulders and head. I'll show you what that looks like from the side. So the reason I'm bolstering is because I have a habit of rib thrusting, so I want to bolster myself back into a neutral position. And like everybody, I have a habit of having a forward head, so I'm bolstering my head up into that position so that I'm not creating extraordinary loads in parts of my body, so that I can change the position of my body. We'll get more into that later, but this is the position I'm going to be in. So you can see it from the side, how I'm bolstered up, my ribcage is in neutral and my head is in really nice alignment here. If I was to take those bolsters out, some people might look really thrusty through the ribcage and then they may not be able to get their head like on the ground in that kind of position because it's so short and tight around the back of their neck and their suboccipital region because they spend so much time forward head. So I'm going to do it this way so you can see what I'm doing. So I'll just put my legs out flat. I've got the bolsters up here underneath my head. Now I'm going to reach my arms out to the side and I'm going to do that same thing. I'm going to externally rotate. See my arms are up off the ground. That bolster's slipping, that's better. Alright. So externally rotating, again I have a bend in my elbows and I am reaching out towards the walls on opposite sides of the walls with my elbows, not with my hands. Again, do that. Reach out through your hands and then reach out through your elbows and just feel how it feels different. Anyway, now I'm going to externally rotate, so my thumbs are coming back down towards the ground and I'm reaching out. And now I'm just going to play around with my range. So what does it feel like? Here's pretty easy, right? But up here, externally rotate, reach, externally rotate, reach, up around here. I start to get a nice stretch. And again, I'm making sure that I'm not thrusting my rib cage. That's part of the reason I've got these bolsters underneath my head, but my rib cage is down on the floor. My rib cage is not up here like this. It's down on the floor. So externally rotating, reaching out. This is a snow angel, or a floor angel, or a, whatever you want to call it, starfish. Katie calls this one the floor angel. Katie Bowman. Check out nutritiousmovement.com. It's awesome. The best movement website ever, in my opinion. Anyway, that's the snow floor / starfish angel thing. That's a good one. Okay, and to finish off with today, because I love it, actually, we've gone way over. It's 16 minutes. Let's stop right here. Put the lid on it. Great to see you. I hope you have a lovely time playing around with your shoulders today. That was a shoulder party, was it not? Have a great day. See ya.